When I be with JandC, episode 6.
So what's up, buddy?
Not much, I suppose. I saw a video. You may have also seen this video very recently of police blowing up these people's houses. These people's house. The Lex.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that for a minute? Because I think it's pretty messed up.
Yeah, go. Break it down.
So the breakdown, the big picture of this story is this family living in Colorado, someplace in Colorado. They left their home to go look for like home improvement things. They were remodeling their house or something like that. Anyways, they all left. And while they were gone, a thief that tried to rob Walmart got caught. And so they called the cops, so the dude ran, and he ended up getting in his truck and driving. The truck broke down next to these people's house, so he went and snuck into their house and holed up there for, 19 hours?
Something like that.
Something like
Just
that?
the next day until it was over.
Yeah. Well, the police, in an attempt to get this guy, fucking destroyed the house with explosives, and these little armored cars just blew the walls out, shattered all the windows, launched gas grenades in. But to the point where the family couldn't live in the house anymore. And they didn't want to pay for the house. The city didn't want to compensate the family for the house. They wrote them like a $5,000 check, and they're like, that should cover the repairs. And then the city condemned their house. Like, they weren't legally allowed to re-enter the residence. They lost, that family heirloom ring. All of their possessions were just gone and destroyed. And the courts ruled in favor of the police. They said they didn't have to compensate that. So they're thinking about taking it all the way up. I'm not entirely sure how the court system works, like what the 10th Circuit is. But that's where it is now. Or it was at the time of the video.
Yeah, at the time of the video.
But it's super messed up. Absolutely. They destroyed that family's house. The insurance paid them for the house. But it ended up only being half of what it cost to fix it.
Yeah, it ended up being less than what it cost to fix it.
Yeah.
They didn't say, what percentage of it was.
Right.
But yeah, my thing was, they didn't just, break down the door, break out a few windows.
Mm-hmm.
They completely destroyed the house to where it had to be condemned and then completely demolished.
Demolished.
It was unsalvageable.
Right.
I feel like their use of destruction of property was excessive.
Excessive!
To
Way
capture
excessive.
one guy. Which, he had a pistol.
And wasn't the kid home?
The kid was home in the beginning, but he snuck out before everything happened.
He snuck out. Okay, well, that's good.
So nobody ended up getting hurt. Not even the cops or the guy or the felon.
Right. He was open fire. He was shooting at the cops. And I understand, not wanting to get shot, sure. But they didn't need to blow 9 holes in the walls and shatter every window. And why were they throwing gas grenades in there in the first place?
They were trying to smoke him out with the gas grenade. They're trying to get him to leave the residence.
Dude, I've been tear gassed. It'll take me about 10 fucking seconds to get out of there. That shit sucks.
Well, that guy didn't. He stayed.
He's a trooper then.
But yeah. Because they threw grenades through every window. That's how they broke all the windows.
They shattered every window with the gas grenades.
They shot grenades through it. The local courts and then the appellate court both ruled in favor of the cops. That they aren't responsible for the damages that they caused while subduing the guy for the public good.
Yeah, I don't know that much about eminent domain, but from what I do know about it, it's pretty messed up.
Well, the whole point is that it's not covered in eminent domain.
Right. That's why they ruled.
That was what the family's lawyer was trying to argue, was that since the property was completely destroyed beyond use, that it should be covered under eminent domain, and they should get the fair compensation for it.
Yeah, but the court ruled that
use of police force is not included in eminent domain, is what the courts ruled.
No, I've heard excuse me, I've heard similar things about how if a police or a SWAT team like breaks down your door and they were just wrong, like there's nothing going on in your house, then they don't have to fix the door.
Yep.
But you'd think if they demolish your entire house for one dude who was not posing a threat to anyone in the house, because there was no one in there.
Well, I mean, he was posing a threat to people outside the house.
Dude.
He was shooting out of the house at police.
So set up a perimeter and wait him out. You don't have to demolish somebody's home. And apparently it was a nice home. And it was in Colorado, so you know it was expensive as shit. What the insurance paid him, like, what, $350K?
Yeah, the insurance paid him like $350,000.
And that wasn't even half of what it cost to fix their house.
You
But
keep saying that, but that was never in the video.
That's what they said. That's what
They
the guy
said less than the cost to repair the house.
Whatever.
Not less than 50%.
I swear they said less than half. It doesn't matter. It wasn't enough to cause or cover the full repair. Of the
It wasn't
house.
enough to cover the full repair, and it didn't pay any of their legal bills, which
No.
I'm sure were super high.
Oh, yeah.
Because they went to not only the first court, but also the appellate court.
Mm-hmm. I just think it's messed up. I think that they should be entitled to compensation for their house.
I do too. I feel like they should be because the house was completely destroyed. Not like if they had just broken out the windows with the tear gas and knocked down the doors when they came in, I'd say, yeah, okay. Like, insurance should cover that. The house is still standing and usable.
Yeah. I would try probably to get the police chief fired.
Well, I guess that's what they're trying to do. I mean, they named all the officers involved in
As
their
defendants?
case, and the defendants in the case.
Well, I get it, like, to a point, but it's really the leaders that are making those decisions.
Well, it was the commander on site that made the decision. That they said his name, I forget it now. Started with a V, like Varg.
That was the police chief.
No, that was
Varley.
It said commander. I don't know. It didn't say police chief. He was just the commander on scene. He was the one that was in charge, actually at the house.
But I remember him.
But he is the one who gave the order to destroy
The house.
Yeah.
The whole house.
Like, they literally said, bust like all the holes in the wall you need until the roof is going to fall down.
Or until before the roof falls down.
Yeah.
He said destroy as much of the house as necessary without having the roof collapse.
Yeah.
It's a really good example of how laws are really not designed to protect people.
Well, they are.
Not that law.
But it's an example of there's always an exception.
okay,
Like
so,
that.
yeah. So
Like
police
the
force.
rule fits most of the time, but there's always going to be an exception to the rule, and I feel like that was an exception to the rule of the police in the city not being responsible to compensate those people.
Yeah. I feel like the judges should have really stepped up and said, you know what, that is kind of messed up because you basically made a whole family homeless in a day and then refused to pay them for their most valuable possession, which is their house.
Yeah, well, it even said all of their stuff inside was broken too.
Yeah.
They said that there was nothing to get out of the house.
Right. They went in, or they tried to go in. They weren't even allowed to go in. The
Yeah,
police
they-
told them to go in and get their possessions if there were any left, which there weren't. And then they were threatened with being arrested for trying to enter the home because it was condemned, because the police destroyed it.
Yeah, that was messed up.
No, I mean, that's what rebellions are made of, dude. Seriously. It's how many times can the government get away with that before people just stop taking it? That's what rebellions are made of. That is exactly the formula. I'm just saying, I'm more stubborn than that. I wouldn't go down without a fight. They fought them in court.
It's like, well, they're not. Like, the court case is still open. They
but it's not.
like they
looking
appealed.
good.
They appealed to the court again, but there hadn't been a decision or anything at the time of the video of their third court run with the case.
Jeez.
Like, so they're still fighting it in the court system.
That's so crazy. I can't believe that is actually like happening. I get it. It's in a weird kind of like gray area because they weren't. Surely it wasn't their intention to destroy the home, and that's not the case every time. Like they don't blow up their house to flush out one guy.
Like that didn't happen till the very end, and this was like a 16-hour standoff.
Yeah.
Like they didn't immediately go to demolishing the house. They tried just throwing in gas and then sending in the tactical team, but then when the guy was shooting at them, they backed out and left.
Mm-hmm. It's just messed up. Like I don't want police to be shot, obviously. I mean, they're just doing their job, but damn, if you're gonna blow somebody's fucking house up, cut them a check for more than $5,000. And they lost that ring, which I would be super mad about. Said it was a family heirloom ring. It had survived like World War II or something like that. It was sentimental value on top of its intrinsic value, but they said it was lost and never recovered, which I would be super duper mad about. I would at least sue for the worth of the ring.
Yeah, well, like that still falls under the same thing. Were the police responsible to compensate them at all?
Which is no. That's the exception. Police don't. They're not on the hook for destroying your house. No. That's so dumb. That's a dumb law. It's a good example of a dumb law. There's a law in Kentucky that says you can't buy more than 2 gallons of milk at once.
Well, that's a weird law. The police law makes sense in most cases.
In most cases.
Because sometimes the police got to break down a door.
And I get if it was just a door, the windows.
And if they have to pay for every single thing they've ever broken, like that adds up a lot. The police wouldn't be able to enforce the laws.
I mean, maybe quit breaking shit.
Sometimes you just got to, man.
I get it,
Sometimes
man. You
there's
can
not a choice.
replace a door for $100. If it's racking up that fucking quick, you can replace a broken window for a couple $100.
Well, yeah, but it's not just one door or one window. Especially when you're talking about like bigger cities, where the police go do a lot of shit.
It's true. They do a lot of stuff. But this was in a small town in Colorado.
Either way, the law makes sense in and of itself. And for most cases, it's fine.
For most cases, I agree that's fine.
Yeah, but the argument is that because the house was completely destroyed, had to be demolished, that it should be covered. But
the court said no.
Yeah, the court said no.
And that's super messed up, and I have a huge problem with it. As I'm sure many people would, except for probably city officials and the police.
Oh, you don't know that. There may be some cops out there like, yeah, man, they should have paid for that.
Maybe. Those police officers certainly didn't think so.
Some of the officers might have thought so, but the people in charge didn't think so. And they fought it.
I get it. Like, it's money. It's just messed up, man. That's not justice.
Yeah.
The police are there to enforce... Well, the courts are there to enforce justice. And I think this was a huge miscarriage of justice in that regard.
I mean, I agree. I agree that the decision is wrong in this case.
Yeah. But it's a by-case thing. And there was no precedent. Like, they've never blown up somebody's house in an attempt to subdue one fucking guy. And he did end up going away for, like, they said decades.
Yeah, they didn't say the actual number. They just said decades. He was sentenced too.
Dude. I'm very upset at watching that. I didn't like it at all. I kind of figured that was going to be the way it went, though. As the video was going, I thought, the courts are probably not going to favor that. Because the laws are there to protect the city and the police from stuff exactly like that. Because you're right, it does rack up. But a whole fucking house? That's ridiculous. That's excessive. And we're in agreement, and I'm still arguing about it. What do you want to talk about? My goodness. Let's get off of this. We've been ranting for 15 minutes.
It's all right, man. That's what this podcast is. It's a collection of 15-minute rants.
Just a collection of 4 15-minute rants. What's up? That's all I can think about right now. You know what? You've got your own things going on right now. What's going on in the Warhammer 40K universe? Let's just switch gears entirely. You got into minis lately.
Yeah, I've ordered some, but I haven't got like the paint yet. I gotta wait for that to come in, and then I'll try and put them together and paint them. Be cool. Just something to do.
Just bored?
Yeah, just in my free time.
Yeah, I feel that, man.
Yeah, I've always wanted to play Warhammer though, so I bought a little starter pack.
You did?
Yeah.
You know, that's how you got me to play D&D. Was you bought a starter pack and put it on the living room table in full view.
Well,
you
D&D
knew I was going to pick it up.
is super fun.
D&D is fun. I had a good time with it. I've burned off a little bit lately, but as far as I know, Warhammer 40K and D&D are the same thing.
No.
But set in different
close.
universes, and Warhammer 40K is more like battle-based.
Yeah, there's no like story to Warhammer. At least in like the play. There's tons of story and books and games and stuff.
Yeah, it's got like a huge lore.
As far as the tabletop game you play, it's just a battle game.
It's just battle.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind then. I don't know that much about tabletop games.
I think the reason you're getting out of D&D is because we haven't played in weeks because everyone's quarantined.
Yeah. Yeah, the quarantine
and our
really
friends
put a
can't
damper
come
on it.
over.
You know, we had that online game going, but isn't there only like
There's only like one
session left, and we can't pull it together?
Yeah, but everyone was busy doing stuff. Like we couldn't organize a session, so we haven't played that. But yeah, there's only like 1 or 2 sessions left.
That is a sad part of being an adult. Just everybody's always busy usually. But during the quarantine, like I don't get why we didn't finish it.
Is because people were still doing stuff.
Yeah. Well, one of our people is in Salt Lake. He's been stuck down there since the quarantine happened.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Derek's stuck down there.
That's rough, man.
Hopefully whenever Derek gets back, we can organize people coming over again.
Yeah.
Play your game.
My game. My game. I am screwing that game up so badly.
No, you're not.
I am. You guys are pointing out all this stuff. I'm just following the book. Like, I didn't want to homebrew it too much.
Yeah.
I'm just following the book. And then everybody's like, well, that doesn't make sense. Why are you doing it that way? And
what do you mean?
I was just following
Who
the
said
book.
that?
One particular instance that has bugged me since it happened.
What happened?
Is all I'm talking about. So there was a spot, you remember in the first town, Red Lark?
Yeah.
Where there was an inn and a tavern.
Oh, yeah, that incident. That was bad writing on the book's part. Like, that wasn't your fault.
You guys were blaming me, though.
That was stupid that the book wanted us to go to the inn just to find out that we had to go to the tavern to get the information we needed, when the innkeeper could easily have had that information.
I think it was so that you could be introduced to the innkeeper, because she does come in later in the story.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. It was bad writing. It was super bad writing.
It was bad writing on the book's part. Not bad DMing on your part. Those characters should have been consolidated into one character.
Yeah.
What town has a tavern right next to the inn? Like, usually the inn is just the tavern.
It's the whole town. Like, there's one crossroaded section, and that's like the main part of town. And there's a tavern, an inn, an abandoned building, and like a field. Well, Mr. I don't silence my cell phones. And we're back. Oh, man.
I actually find it easier to play a homebrew game, to DM a homebrew game, than to DM the book.
Yeah.
Because the book has all that information that you have to read and figure out.
It's just erroneous information.
Whereas in my homebrew world, I just kind of know where everything is, and I just kind of make up stuff on the spot when I need it.
Yeah.
If I don't already have it.
Very conveniently.
It's very convenient.
Yeah. I agree. And I liked my homebrew world. That one we played like a year or two ago.
Yeah.
I liked that world. I'd like to return to that sometime.
Could.
Because I have the whole story in my head.
Could do it now.
We could do it right now, bro. Let's go. Let's
not
just,
now.
Let's just skip to the end.
In the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, well, I'd like to finish Princess of the Apocalypse.
Oh, you want to actually finish Princess?
I would like to finish it because I do like the story. I am going to go through and take out a bunch of stuff, though.
Fair enough.
And probably consolidate a lot of characters like that. Because I get super nervous when I'm DMing. I'm not very good at it yet. I've only done it a couple of times. And that first homebrew world that I come up with,
yeah,
I was drunk at the time, and I just thought it sounded funny.
It does. It's good.
And it worked, and it worked out really well. So then when I ran a structured campaign where everything was like really, really specific, it's like, okay, you got to get this information from this guy. There's like 12, I think, people between the inn and the tavern that will give you pretty much all different. It's the same information, but it's said in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah, they do that sometimes.
And it's like you have to talk to at least 3 people to get all of the information, but you don't know which 3 people. So you spend half your session just walking around trying to find the next guy. And the locations that the people are at are important because there's like secret passages and all this crazy crap. And we haven't even gotten to the main story quest yet. This is a little level 1 to 3 thing to gear you up for the main story.
Yeah.
Which they totally misjudged on the combat encounter because I almost wiped out the whole party.
Well, that'll happen at low levels just because at low levels you're really weak.
Yeah, you're really weak, I guess, but you guys started at level 3 and that was a level 1 encounter.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We did start at level 3.
Yeah. And it almost killed all of you. And would have had not Fox the Phoenix God stepped in. My goodness. That's everybody's free res right there, because they would have wiped everybody out. D&D can make for some really fun stories, though. The critical fails are just as fun sometimes as the critical successes. But I was watching this video, I think I was watching it with you, actually. It was ways that certain DMs handle nat 20s when players try to do ridiculous things.
Yeah.
Like run straight up a wall or something like that. And he was like, we rolled a nat 20, so I mean, he succeeded. It's like, not so much that you ran straight up the wall, but you nat 20'd so nothing terrible happened to you when you didn't run straight up the wall. It was really more of a save throw than anything else. Anyways. I'm sorry. I'm still thinking about that stupid house court case thing in my mind. It's in the back of my mind. It's bothering me, but I want to get past it. What's up with you?
I mean, it's a messed up story, man.
It's super messed up. In local news, TGI Fridays is opening again.
Oh.
Oh.
Restaurants starting to open back up.
Yeah. Part of phase 2 of this not lockdown. What's the opposite of a lockdown?
Normal operations?
Normal operations. Yeah, part of normal operations. Our re-release back into society. So restaurants are starting to open up. Zach has his first bartending shift on Saturday.
Nice.
So I'm actually taking a date there to go hang out.
Weird.
I'm pretty excited. She's a pretty avid listener to this too, so quick shout out.
Shout out.
I don't know if she'd want me to mention her name. I don't know.
I don't know her, so.
Yeah, I mean.
I have no idea.
Yeah, who knows? But I'm looking forward to it. Should be lots of fun. So we're going to go and get drinks at the Yard House on Saturday night. And then Sunday night, that's who was texting me earlier, was Zach. And he's like, hey, by the way, Fridays is open. And they've got this new burger. It's huge. And it's got like a potato skin on top of it. And it's got like loaded fries in it. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's a heart attack between 2 buns, but we're going to go get some. Plus, my boy Santi is bartending. So, looking forward to getting those not free beers. Hint, hint, wink, wink. No, that's terrible. I pay for all my drinks at TGI Fridays. Mainly because I am still employed there, technically.
Technically.
I am on a medical leave of absence because of my legs.
True.
As with all my jobs. I'm still technically employed. Just haven't
been to work.
I just haven't been to work.
Or been paid.
Or yeah. That employment relief fund or something that was like going to all the people that were displaced out of their jobs.
Yeah.
I keep getting links. Like my boss keeps sending me links for it. It's like, hey, sign up. But I don't think I qualify for it because it wasn't working in the first place.
I don't know.
If you know anything about it, leave something in the comments.
Maybe since you're still technically employed at Fridays.
I am technically still employed, yes, but I'm on leave. So it's
Still?
like, yeah.
You can try and apply. See what happens.
Let's see what happens. I'm still getting my workers' comp checks right now, and that's plenty because I don't do anything. So
I don't do anything.
I don't do anything, and right now there's nothing to do. So,
well, this weekend, there's Fridays.
This weekend, that's right. Dude. The bars in Nampa have opened back up.
Have they?
But, yeah, but they close at like 11:30, and they have limited capacity, which is what the restaurants are doing too. They're doing like half capacity.
Half capacity, no bar top.
Yeah, something like that. Everybody has to sit in booths. All the bartenders have to wear gloves and face masks.
Heard.
And I think they're only keeping like half kitchen staff or something like that.
I'll go with you guys on Sunday.
Sunday. Yeah, let's go get a burger that's going to destroy our arteries.
Right before I go to work.
Right before you go to work. As a healthcare professional. Oh. That's my laugh.
That is your laugh.
Are you comfortable with your own laugh? Because some people aren't.
I'm comfortable enough with it. Like, it doesn't bother me.
Hey, you have a unique laugh. I don't even know how to describe it. But once you get going, it's... I don't want to say wispy, because wispy's not right, but it's kind of wispy. I have more of a chuckly laugh.
Yeah.
I think so.
You chuckle.
I chuckle.
Starts big, then tapers off at increments.
Which is visually represented. You guys can't see, but we can, because we're watching this thing record our voices.
The audio track.
The audio track. See, that's why I need you. You're a smart person. You know words. I don't know words, man. I know feelings.
You're a feelings person.
Yeah, man. Dead inside. I have to mimic.
That's like a feeling.
That's a lack of feelings. It means I have to mimic other people's feelings, you know? So I'm like observing
That's
all
what
the
psychopaths
time.
do.
It is what psychopaths do. And when I read that, it freaked me out a little bit. I was like, oh, that's not good. Okay. But I have caught myself doing that. Like, it's like, oh, this is how people react in this situation. Okay. Ladies. Feel like dating a psychopath. I'm right here. Oh, I had something to say about laughs. There's a whole video on the internet about different kinds of laughs and what it says about you. But I wanted to know, because I had a question, like, why is everybody's laugh different? Like, they're similar, you know? There's, like, groups, categories of different kinds of laughs. Like, you got the people that, like, burst laugh. Like, bah! Aaron's one of those. That's his laugh. He goes, bah! We just redlined that, or I just redlined. That's my bad. But he does. He explodes when he laughs. And then Corey, he's got more of, like, the cool guy laugh, where he's like, and I have a jovial, giggle, chuckly laugh. And you have... Wispy's not the right word. It's not good. Whitney's laugh, her real laugh, sounds fake. It sounds like a forced laugh. But that's her real
actually.
laugh. Yeah, you get what I'm saying. And it's so crazy. And I've spent way too much time thinking about the way that people laugh. But it does. It always sounded fake to me, which is like it's caused a lot of problems when we were younger. So I thought she was like mocking me, but no, that's a real laugh. I can't even do it. She's like, that's not an accurate representation of her laugh. But it's a little snarky like that, you know what I mean? I was uncomfortable with it. And my brother has the same kind of laugh I do. My mom has a cackle, and she fucking hates it when I call it a cackle. She does, though, man. It's crazy. She's really good, like, during Halloween and stuff, she'll do, like, witches' cackles.
Yeah.
And she's really good at it. I was like, you get plenty of practice, don't you?
Plenty of practice with that laugh.
She's got some different kinds of laughs. I don't know. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Laughs.
You wanted to know what was going on in my head. That's it.
Yeah.
Fucking police blowing stuff up and laughs. I was listening to part 2 of the We Play Truth or Drink when Zach came over and played with us.
Yeah.
Because it got released, today, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Released today.
Because I'm a freak and I go back and keep check on all our stuff because I'm super obsessed with it. But I was listening to it, and that part where you had to edit out Zach's story,
Yeah.
your voice just cracked me up because I was in the shower and I was listening to it, and it echoes in there, and it was just Zach, and it was like, you guys are going to have to delete this whole story. And then it's just like your voice popping up, and it's like, hey guys. For multiple reasons, I had to cut this part out of the story, so I guess you'll never know. And then it just goes right back into it. I'm like, dude, that's mean. That's a cruel thing to do. It was a really good story, though. It was a pretty funny story. It had ups and downs, but you caught most of the end. So
Yeah, but I still got the ending.
yeah, you still got the ending. But yeah, that was a crazy night. I don't even know what question he was answering. Like, what's your worst bathroom?
It's like the bathroom story.
Yeah, that's right.
Bathroom disaster.
Bathroom disasters. Mine was where I had diarrhea at church,
Yeah.
and his was that fucking nightmare. It's like, because it cut back in, and he's like, oh yeah, it was crazy. So everybody was just pissed at me because they had to pee outside for 4 hours. It's like, what happened in the beginning of that story? And then I remembered, it's like, yeah, that checks out. Well, Zach, he's a good time.
Yep.
He's getting all excited to go back to work finally.
Finally.
Well, I think we've brought it up on here before, but like a lot of people are finding out they're not really introverted. And he was one of those people.
I need people.
He does, man. He thrives on people.
I can't even order at a drive-thru without a social interaction.
Oh my god, the drive-through thing. I did not know that about him. And I've been through several drive-thrus with him in the passenger seat. And I haven't noticed a problem. But apparently it's a huge issue with him.
Well, maybe because you were there was another person for him to interact with. So he wasn't as nervous.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm his emotional support human.
Yeah.
I wear that badge with honor. I like that guy. He's dope.
Yeah, Zach's dope. Yeah, I like Zach.
Zach's pretty dope. He's the reason I started saying dope. I said it so much that people thought I just started saying it one day. I was like, no, I got that from somewhere else. That checks out. I say that all the time. I got that from you. You said it to me.
Out.
Yeah. You said it to me once, and I was like, yep, that's going to be mine.
Yep, that does check out.
So much so that, so when I was waiting tables at Fridays, I had these reliable phrases that I would just use constantly.
You know, catchphrases?
Yeah. Well, it was like a joke or a greeting or something, just make you giggle for a second. And you're like, okay, icebreaker. Icebreaker. That's what they are. But anyways, I said them so much that people started, I think they were joking at first, but eventually there was a list made of the top 10 things I say constantly. And that checks out. Fucking dope was on there. And this is all this crazy stuff. I don't know what became of that list, but it made me very upset. I was like, oh, damn. It's one thing to notice that somebody says a lot like says the same thing a lot. But to actually like talk about it with other people and come up with a list and then show that person that list, I was on the receiving end of that, and I was like, damn, I say all of these things constantly.
What's the list? What's Cody's top 10 catchphrases?
Cody's top 10, I don't remember them all. But like that checks out was on there. It was like number 1. Because I said it so much. We were like, yeah, let me get a burger and blah, blah, blah. I was like, all right, yeah, that's cool. How do you like it? I was like, medium rare. I was like, okay, that checks out. I would say it constantly. Fucking dope was on there a lot because I used that one when I was in the kitchen part. Not with, customers. Unless they were cool. Unless they were fucking dope. But I would do that. That's rad. One of them was just lyrics from a song that I kept singing all the time. It was The Used. I would say, it's 4 o'clock in the fucking morning. I still say that all the time because I'm up at 4 in the morning, like usually. And every time I see it, I'm like, 4 o'clock in the fucking morning. Oh, I don't know. If I can get a hold of that list again, like, I could probably talk about it for a full hour. And, like, where I got each individual.
I'd also add to that list, like, don't do that.
Don't do that. I say that a lot.
You do. It's like, God, don't do that.
Don't do that. Okay. I feel it. Yeah, I do that. I say that a lot. It's mostly when I see people doing dumb stuff, I'm like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Or if, like, they do something really messed up, I'm like, probably don't do that. Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like I got that from you, but you've never said it, but that's, like, your attitude towards things. It's like, I probably wouldn't do that.
I do say that checks out.
You do.
I'll
That's why I
say
picked it up.
the science is all there, man.
The science is there. I say something like, all the pieces are there. Somebody do something with that. That was a Family Guy thing. He's trying to make a joke, and he had like little parts of the joke, but it wasn't like a full joke. And he's like, all the pieces are there. Somebody do something with it. So I say that all the time. I don't know. All the pieces are there, man. Understood. Understood was definitely on that list. Because it's my go-to word when people say something that I have no response for. It's like, understood.
Mine's heard.
Heard. I use heard a lot.
I say heard.
Heard.
Well,
that's from working in the kitchen.
It's when someone tells me something that doesn't require an answer, and I just want to acknowledge that I heard them, and I understood.
Heard. Hey, I'm going to the store. Heard.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't require a response on my part, just an acknowledgement that I heard it.
Right. You can accomplish the same thing with a thumbs up or a nod.
Yeah.
I don't know. Stuff that you say all the time, I don't think you repeat yourself very often, because I'm drawing blanks. Like, I know you say heard a lot, but we just talked about that, which is probably where I picked that up. I don't know. I'm not really that funny. I just, collect funny things.
I'm not funny. People just like to tell me funny things.
I know a lot of funny
and
people.
I store that for later use.
Yeah. Keep it in my arsenal of snappy comebacks. Like, I got a perfect example of this. It's not my joke, but I used it to great effect. The punchline was, that's what's wrong with these kids today, man. They're all dick and no balls. And I was like, oh my God, that's hilarious. I'm going to keep that in my pocket, and I'm going to whip it out whenever it's appropriate. And then, like, a couple of weeks later, or a couple of weeks ago, I was sitting around a fire with my brother and his girlfriend and her late teenage kids, and one of them said something stupid. And I was like, that's the problem with these kids, man. They're all dick and no balls. To uproarious laughter from everybody involved. My dad was crying. He wasn't, but he was laughing pretty good. And then everybody's like, that's the funniest thing. We're like, yeah, no.
Thank you.
That's my brand of funny.
Thank you. I memorized it myself.
Thanks. Just knowing where to apply it is half the battle.
True.
That's my problem. I'm not a creative person.
That's another thing I say a lot.
What's that?
True.
True? Yeah, that is true.
True.
I feel like I say that's true a lot. Like, that's true. That's true.
I'll say fair enough.
Fair enough, yeah.
Fair
That's
enough.
from Scrubs, Dr. Cox.
Yeah.
That's where I started saying that one.
It is from Scrubs.
Is it? Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Fair play, man. Oh my goodness. It's such a weird little day. I'm in an extraordinarily good mood today.
Extraordinarily?
As compared,
Extraordinarily?
as compared to how I usually feel. Like when we're doing the podcast, I kind of elevate it up a little bit, try to be a little more bright and sunshiny. But generally, I'm pretty morose. But
Morose?
Morose.
Did you get a word a day calendar?
No, I didn't. I actually learned that word when I was reading some really sad shit because I was sad. And I was like, morose, what does that mean? And it fit so perfectly with how I felt. And I started using it. It is a word.
Well, I know it's a word, but it's not a word that you hear in everyday conversation.
It is not a word that you would hear in normal
More of like
conversation.
that's a literary word.
Well, I could use 10 words to describe how sad I am, or just one.
I know. I get that. I get it has a purpose.
Morose. I did see you smirk when I said it, though.
Yeah, but yeah, it's not something you hear. So when you hear it, it's kind of funny.
Yeah. Anyways, it just means terribly sad. Like, it has a full definition, but that's pretty much the gist of it. You just...
Yeah.
Terribly, terribly sad. Which is how I spent most of my time at that time. And I was like, ooh, morose. Fuck me up. But today, I'm in a good mood. And I think a lot of it is because I've been doing PT. And I'm coming along really, really well in it. My legs are getting a lot stronger. My left leg is getting crazy strong. Like, I can raise it up and down.
Oh.
Mashallah. And I can bend it and then straighten it like that without having to put it back down. I can't do that with my right leg yet. But I moved up to a 6-pound weight today on the left one. So I'm working through that. I still have some balance issues that keep me from walking normally. But I've got this little, it's like a mini obstacle course that I have to walk around, which is really just stuff I have to step over. And I still have to use my cane to get through it because I'll lose balance. But, I mean, other than that, really, it's going great. I've started doing like these little mini squats. It's like a half squat. Go down as far as you can. Quick shout out to Zach Bright calling me right now.
Put him on speaker.
Put him on speaker. Okay, let's see how this goes.
Let's see how it happens.
Hello?
Hello.
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 Dude, that burger.
Dude, that burger looks dope.
Dude, I want that burger, man.
I want that burger too. I feel like obligated to tell you right now that you are podcasting right now.
Oh, excellent.
So tell me about this burger.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Tell us about this burger,
sure to-
man.
Yeah, what's this burger? Cody was telling me
You've
about it. It's
texted me-
huge.
You've texted me twice and called me now. So it's got to be a pretty big deal.
It's the burger. Hello?
Hello?
Fair enough.
Fair enough,
I couldn't
man.
hear you. I couldn't hear the beginning half of that. It's my bad.
Oh, you're good. I said you've texted me twice and called me now about this burger. So it's got to
Did
be
I
pretty
text
important.
you about it too?
You texted me twice. I haven't checked them
Oh,
yet
man.
because
Oh,
I've
I
been
was on
doing
the
this
phone for, like,
podcast.
about a fucking hour or two, so I didn't really remember.
Heard.
I'll call me after the podcast.
Bye.
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 What the hell was I talking about?
I don't remember.
It couldn't have been that important. Oh. Well, we got another 4 minutes to fill, buddy. What do you want to use it talking about?
4 minutes. We got more than that.
4 minutes, 46 plus 4. Oh, no. We got 14 minutes. We got time for one more 15-minute rant.
Yeah, exactly.
We talked about the police being kind of crazy. Talked about different people's laughs. We talked about D&D. A little Warhammer 40k up in there. Which the lore on 40k is totally worth reading. Like, it's a super interesting story. I've been kind of getting into it because you talk about it constantly.
It's a very interesting, deep story.
Mm-hmm. And it's based in the future, so you can't say that that's impossible.
I mean, you can kind of say some of it's impossible.
You don't know. Magic was just technology without an explanation.
Well, it's psychic powers in 40K. It's not science. It's psychic.
You don't know. I don't claim to know everything going on in the universe, but I mean,
I don't think psychics are real. At least not currently.
not currently. Not until we achieve like a symbiosis with AI. Then we probably will have less need for vocal communications.
Well, yeah, but then that's still not psychic.
It's not psychic, but it's pretty close.
Technology.
It's just non-verbal communication.
Non-verbal communication happens with regular people.
Yeah, I mean, you got sign language and stuff, which I would really like to learn. I feel really
It's not
disappointed.
sign language, just like body language, tone. Those are non-verbal communications.
Your tone of voice is a non-verbal communication.
Yeah, tone of voice, your expression, your body language. That's
Okay.
non-verbal communication. That's like 80% of communication.
Isn't that
Because you
weird?
had to take, you took oral comm.
I did take
in
oral
college,
comm, yeah.
So they tell you that 80% of what you're communicated is communicated through non-verbal language.
My teacher focused mainly on like your posture and how you project your voice.
Yeah, well, that's important. Posture, tone. That's
It's
non-verbal
like if you're
stuff.
hunched over, no one's going to pay attention to you.
Yeah, because if you're standing up straight, you're speaking loudly, it makes you seem more confident in what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
If you're hunched over and you're whispering quietly, you sound like you don't believe what you're saying, really.
Maybe I'm just relaxed.
But yeah, because you can say the same words and have dozen different meanings to it, depending on how you said it, how you looked when you said it.
That's true. There was an example of that on the internet a while back. It was just one sentence, but if you change if you put the emphasis on just one word in the sentence, and it made it a completely different sentence, but it was every single word in the sentence. So they made 7 separate sentences out of the same words by putting emphasis on a different word each time. And I forget what the sentence was, but and you're right. Like, where you emphasize certain things, excuse me, or yeah, even how you say something. Like, you could say something really, really nice with the wrong tone of voice, and it'll come out completely wrong. It's like nice baby,
Baby.
nice baby. Mind if I touch it?
Yeah, your baby's cute. All right.
Yeah, most people are like, oh, it's a little baby, it's so cute. It's like, nice baby. Like that, I feel like that would rub people the wrong way.
I feel like just saying nice baby sounds weird. Anyway, no matter how you say it.
I mean, that's
It's
a
a
nice
weird
baby.
It's a weird choice of words.
That's a fucking nice kitty right there. Maybe. I don't know. Language is such a weird part of life that we just invented. It's just weird. Things are only real because we say so. Not everything.
Dude, say things are only real because we say so.
I mean,
See, that was nonverbal communication. You guys didn't hear it, but I gave Cody a weird look when he said
He
that.
did.
Like, I don't believe what you're saying, man.
I gave myself a weird look after that one. What I mean to say is like money, things like money or laws, time. It's a construct.
Time is a construct.
Yeah, time.
Not really.
We experience time at the rate of 1 second per second.
Well, yeah.
But time is not.
Time
It's
is.
a universal human concept, but a dog has no sense of time.
They kind of do.
In what way?
Like when Buttons hasn't seen you all day, he's super excited to see you. More so than if he just saw you.
I guess that's true.
There's a time. I wouldn't say it's a construct. I mean, it's relative to the person observing it
It is.
and how you perceive time.
And how
but
strong your gravity is. What?
but it is just a part of the universe. Like, it exists regardless of whether you believe it
Well,
exists.
maybe I misspoke. Time is real, but our measurements of time are arbitrary.
Yes,
And made
that
up.
is.
Like a 1 second.
Our measurements of time are created by us, and they're given meaning to by us.
Yeah. That's what I mean. And money is a very, very real thing in the world, but it only means something because we said so. It's just a medium of exchange.
That's true. And since we got off the gold standard, You know,
Yeah, it's
money's
totally-
not really backed by anything physical. It's
backed by 2,600 nuclear bombs.
it's just backed by our belief in its value, and I don't know, some math someone does somewhere.
Some math someone does somewhere. A lot of our lives is affected by some math that someone does somewhere. I have a phone. I couldn't make a phone, but I have one.
True.
I couldn't build a microphone, but we're using one. That's somebody doing math somewhere. Who knows? And then much less interesting things come out of people doing meth somewhere. My goodness. What a crazy mixed up world we live in.
Well, I guess we'll end it there on a crazy mixed up world.
Crazy mixed up world, guys. Stay safe. Don't do meth. If you're good at math, do it somewhere. You know, maybe we'll get something cool out of it.
Do math, not meth.
Do math, not meth.
Put that on a t-shirt.
TM.
TM.
Speaking of t-shirts, real quick before we end this out, I want to do some merch.
Yeah,
I've got.
we can look into that.
Well, I've got a website. I'll send you the link for it, but we can print off like 100 shirts or something with our logo on it.
Okay.
I would totally wear it. I'm talking hats. I'm talking keychains,
Bracelets, stickers.
throat tattoos. You get J, I'll get
Sold
C.
separately.
Sold separately.
See a tattoo artist.
Please do not tattoo our fucking logo on your neck.
I don't care. Do it.
He don't care. I would rather not. Anyways, stay safe, guys. Thanks for listening. As always, smash that like button, hit the mystery bell, subscribe if you haven't already.
And in the comments below, answer some questions. What do you think about the police blowing up the family's house?
Exactly. I want to hear what you guys have to think.
How do you feel about your life being controlled by someone doing math somewhere?
Ooh, good question.
Let us know. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.